Donald Trump is in full panic mode as Iran refuses to surrender, as Iran is striking back, and now Donald Trump is further crashing the markets. Oil right now over $100 a barrel. As we predicted, I expect that to continue to rise as this unlawful and catastrophic war continues. I expect the price of Brent crude to approach $150 to $200 a barrel. The 10-year Treasury note yield has officially surged above 4.7%. This is worse than on Liberation Day, as Donald Trump called it, or Liquidation Day. The 30-year note is over 5%. What this means is expect interest rates to keep on rising and rising and things to become even less affordable. Donald Trump's precious stock market, his precious, crashing today, one of the worst days in recent history. So what does Donald Trump do? His first phone call is to Israel's Channel 12, and he tells Israel's Channel 12, I am considering a massive attack, larger than anything I've carried out before, larger than epic fury. I'm very close to making a decision. Iran may want to do a deal, so we will see. How utterly pathetic and putrid he is. Meanwhile, we're now learning 10 medevac airplanes have been in the region in the Middle East by Iran, by the neighboring U.S. air bases in the past 23 days, including 2 back to Walter Reed. This is one of the big red flags we've been talking about when there were 3 medevac planes in the region where we were saying we believe there are casualties being covered up. We believe there were deaths being covered up. We were right. And now we're seeing even more medevac planes in the area. And if you, again, look at that satellite imagery that's coming out from China and other open source foreign surveillance that is being published, the U.S. has banned any U.S. companies from making their surveillance footage public for private use. You'll see more containerized barracks being destroyed in Kuwait and Jordan by Iran. Meanwhile, Iran's parliament leader, MB Ghalibaf, is just mocking Donald Trump ruthlessly. Ghalibaf posted the following cartoon, and here's what Ghalibaf says. They wanted to punish Iran. They punished themselves with triple-digit oil instead. 10 of 10 strategy, clap emojis. And then it's a cartoon of the world U.S. economy. Let's blockade Iran. Easy peasy. And then the person falling off the bike. Oil, $150 a barrel. Global recession. Gas, $7 a gallon. The 10-year Treasury note, 6%. 30-year mortgage rates at 10%. Iran did this. Sad face, sad face, sad face. While all of this is going on, you have Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, at the ASEAN conference, South Asian conference where the U.S. is participating on the sidelines there. Rubio started whining, complaining about the Iranian Lego videos. I kid you not. He's like, these stupid Lego videos that they keep on making. Wow, did they hit a soft spot right there? The Lego videos, the United States Secretary of State is giving a press conference whining about Lego videos. Here, play this clip.
Because the price they're paying is very high, despite their tough talk and their flowery language and their stupid Lego videos they put out. I've never seen them, but they put these things out on social media. Despite all that bravado, they are suffering tremendously, and they're going to suffer more until they come to their senses. They're not there yet, unfortunately.
Which countries came to you?
Oh, I can't tell you who told me.
You mean the Lego videos like where they said Melania is Epstein Queen? Is that the one you're talking about? Or the one that they made about you? Remember this one of Melania? Play this clip.
Epstein Queen! Epstein Queen!
All right, after reaching out to Israeli media first, Donald Trump then reached out to Axios, although Barak Ravid is in Israel. Barak Ravid is Donald Trump's personal stenographer over at Axios. And then Donald Trump told Ravid the following. I'm considering a massive attack on Iran, bigger than anything that's ever happened before. I'm close to making a decision. We're fully prepared for it, Ravid, Trump's personal stenographer, said that these will be bigger strikes than Epic Fury. Donald Trump told Ravid, Iranians haven't received enough pain yet. They need to feel more pain from me, and that will make them want to negotiate. Yeah, they want to negotiate, but they need more pain first, Donald Trump said. Two regional sources with knowledge of mediation efforts said Iranian leadership does not want to even go to a mediation with the United States, that Iran is uninterested in having talks as the U.S. economy is crashing, as Donald Trump has crashed the markets, as oil is surging to $150 a barrel. Trump is begging for a mediation with Iran. And according to all of these sources who spoke to Barack Ravid, we're trying. We want to get into a mediation, but the Iranians are not being helpful. They don't want to mediate with us. Meanwhile, CNN has reported both the Central Intelligence Agency and Defense Intelligence Agency have stated that the type of bombing that's being carried out right now, and that Donald Trump says he wants to escalate, will only further entrench the IRGC and Iranian leadership and not make them want to negotiate or do any deal. This is Donald Trump's predatory behavior. I mean, he's a predator, right? He's someone found civilly liable of sexual assault. He's someone who doesn't take no. He doesn't say no. And so he thinks, I'm just going to force myself on you, and then that'll make you want to do a deal. It's doing a version of that with Canada, right? Oh, you're going to retaliate against me? I'll do 50% tariffs. That will make you bend the knee. And no, lots of people stand up. People who are proud, people who care about their civilizations, they stand up to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump can't handle that because he's a lifelong loser. He's a lifelong bankrupter. And this is what he does. Marco Rubio at this conference, again, so humiliating. He's like, Iran, they're calling us every day. They're begging us. They're begging, please, please, please. You don't even realize how many times they're begging us. Oh, really, Rubio? Sure. So pathetic. Play this clip.
Okay, these people who are calling us every day, begging, let's do a deal. They send us messages through other countries, third countries. I mean, they're running out of countries to send. Even I had countries here coming up to me. Oh, I just spoke to the Iranians. They want to do a deal. The problem is, every time these people do a deal, they either break it or after they make it, they want to change the deal. So they're probably not ready to do a deal yet, but they will be soon.
Now, Donald Trump posted the following while in full panic mode. He goes, a year ago, the United States of America attacked very powerfully the Houthis in Yemen for their interference with commerce and trade by shooting at ships. Since that time and during our conflict with Iran, they have acted very responsibly. Pause right there. Oh, yes, Donald, praising the Houthis as a very responsible world actors. Unfortunately, now they are starting up again, shooting at 2 Saudi Arabian ships last night. Please let this truth serve to represent that if they do this again, the U.S. will hold Iran responsible in that the Houthis are a surrogate and or proxy of Iran, and major military punishment will be inflicted upon Iran and, of course, the Houthis themselves, who I am very disappointed with in that they have until now acted very professionally and smart. Oh, Houthis? Donald Trump is very disappointed in you, and he hereby proclaims via this truth that he will retaliate against Iran. Really, because yesterday you were bombing the Iran-Iraq border, killing civilians there, Donald. You've killed lots of little girls in Iran. You've killed lots of civilians in Iran. You said you obliterated the Iranian nuclear weapons. You continue to bomb Iran. 12 tonight will be the 13th consecutive day. But Houthis, he's very disappointed in you, he says. Thank you for your attention to this matter. With that post, I think it's worth reminding you what Donald Trump said back on May 7th of 2025 when Donald Trump surrendered to the Houthis. People don't remember. There's so much in the Trump world that it's like, yeah, he surrendered to the Houthis back in May of 2025, and then he praised them and said they're very brave, they're incredible people. And I think that also taught the Houthis. And the lesson there that Iran learned when Houthis were controlling the Red Sea then, and when Iran could control the Strait of Hormuz, which they do now, Iran was, I think, watching that press conference and saying, got it. And they were planning, okay, if the U.S. ever escalates, what we can do is shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait, which is essentially what's happening now, shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is definitely happening now. Multiple tankers hit, recent days, totally shut down. Bab el-Mandab, those 2 Saudi Arabian tankers yesterday, and 8 other tankers turned around. But here's what Trump said May 7th, 2025, praising the Houthis. Let's play it.
Take a look. But, we had really a very good, as you know, we had a very good outcome with the Houthis, and we honor their word. I mean, they made a commitment, and we dealt with other countries that were close to them and their surrogates, and we honor all of their words. And we'll see what happens, but I think, I believe that hopefully that's over with, and they'll leave the ships alone, just leave those ships alone. But so we do. We take their word for it. It was, we hit them very hard. They had a great capacity to withstand punishment. They took tremendous punishment. And, you could say there's a lot of bravery there. It was amazing what they took. But we honor their commitment and their word. They gave us their word that they wouldn't be shooting ships anymore, and we honor that. I want to thank you all for...
I've really been trying to keep healthier, high-quality ingredients around the house, and one thing I've gotten tired of is buying seafood that looks great at the store, but then just doesn't live up to expectations. That's why I love Wild Alaskan Company. They offer the best way to get wild-caught, high-quality seafood delivered right to your door on your schedule. Each box comes with individually portioned, vacuum-sealed fillets that are easy to prep, whether I'm throwing together a quick dinner or making something a little more special. Everything is quick frozen right from the Alaskan waters, which helps lock in the texture, flavor, and key nutrients like omega-3s, and it is seafood you can trust with no GMOs, antibiotics, or other additives. Plus, every order supports sustainable harvesting practices and Alaskan fishermen whose history is tied to the region and the practice. One of my favorites has been the coho salmon. It's incredibly versatile, cooks up beautifully, and has a great texture that makes it an easy go-to for dinner. Wild Alaskan Company is so confident that their fish is the best that they offer a 100% satisfaction and money-back guarantee, so you can try your first box risk-free. Go to wildalaskan.com/Meidas for $35 off your first order of premium wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $35 off your first order. Thanks to Wild Alaskan Company for sponsoring this episode.
Now, in response to the United States war crimes and attacks on the Iran-Iraq border last night, Iran responded by attacking the Al-Abdali border crossing between Iraq and Kuwait. Let me show you what they did over here. Let's play this clip. Now, here is new footage that just leaked out showing the moment an Iranian ballistic missile recently hit the King Faisal Air Base in Jordan yesterday, where numerous U.S. service members are stationed. Let's show you this video right here. As Donald Trump and his regime says, Iran doesn't have any weapons. They're begging for deals. They need to feel more pain first. Here, play this clip. Now, the IRGC is also saying that in its response to the Trump regime's 12th night of attacks, which took place yesterday, Iran says it carried out combined drone missile attacks that destroyed a specialized U.S. electronic warfare unit in Camp Buring in Kuwait. They say they attacked the unit's personnel quarters, killing and wounding several of the United States troops. We don't know if that's true, but I will show you the Ali Al Salam Air Base in Kuwait from yesterday. You'll see, looks like 8, maybe more of these containerized living quarters utterly destroyed. This is different than the other base that was in Jordan where there were fatalities. So if there were troops right here in those barracks, in these containerized barracks, I think that there were lots of serious injuries, hence the 10 medevac flights. The IRGC says air traffic control tower at Camp Buring was struck and damaged. They also attacked the unit's personnel quarters. So we also, when the IRGC says these things, we also want to look at the surveillance footage. Now, the U.S. blocks its surveillance and blocks the maps and the geolocators. China has good ones that are released, and other foreign countries aren't blocking it. So we look. And it just, to me, also very suspicious that CENTCOM is blocking, these Earth maps from being seen. Now, Donald Trump also announced moments ago the civilian nuclear deal. There will be no enrichment of material being made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use, such as the ones that Iran and UAE and others already have, will be approved, but it is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. He goes on to say the United States is not opposed to civil, non-enriched nuclear facilities. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. May I just point out some things, how stupid he is, how dumb, how dangerous he is. First, let me start off with the proposition that Saudi Arabia should not have nuclear enrichment or nuclear weapons, and the fact that Donald Trump wants to give them, who were involved in 9/11 and killing American journalists, is very alarming and raises lots of especially given the quid pro quo deals between the Saudi government and Donald Trump. But Donald Trump has no clue how even enrichment works. There will be no enrichment of material, even for non-weaponized nuclear facilities. It's enriched. Civilian nuclear facilities still has enriched uranium, still has enriched material. It's just down blended to a certain level that's civilian purposes versus weapon purposes. And so the whole negotiation with Iran is over down blending and dilution and keeping it at levels so that it doesn't get to weapons grade versus civilian use grade. That's the whole. So this very post right here is utterly deranged and shows he has no clue the way nuclear weapons versus civilian nuclear capabilities work, which is very damaging, which is very scary. Probably worse other words than that, because he got into an entire catastrophic war on this basis against Iran and doesn't know the way nuclear material even works at a most basic level. But then here he concedes Iran has it for non-military uses. He says for non-military uses, such as the ones that Iran has. So it's an admission right there in it. Am I missing something? It seems pretty clear what he's saying right there. Back to Marco Rubio, who at this conference is begging the Houthis to stop. Like, they got Houthis. Did you get suckered into it? I mean, these Trump regime idiots act like, no offense to school kids on the playground, it's like, did you get suckered into this by Iran? No, do you understand the dynamics and the Shiite resistance? Do you understand the relationship between Iran and the Houthis and the broader objectives that are, you're the secretaries. What do you mean they got suckered into it? This is so embarrassing. Please stop, Houthis, please stop, or we'll bomb Iran more. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, look, I hope that they'll stop. They shouldn't really do that. They got suckered into this by the Iranians. The Houthis largely were smart and stayed out of all this throughout the conflict. But they now apparently have gotten themselves suckered into this, going after Saudi Arabia and their ships. And by the way, that's, I was reading reports a few hours ago that there was actually a Saudi fuel ship that's flagged Chinese. It's a Chinese ship. Are they going to blow up the Chinese ship? And this becomes a problem for China. This will become a problem for the whole world. But I hope that will de-escalate, because I think the Houthis, frankly, got snookered into this thing by the Iranians. And they were smart to stay out of it, and they should stay out of it, and they should stop. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, it's not a positive development. We'll see what happens.
And then Rubio was asked, so was there an agreement on election? When you spoke with China, you're in ASEAN conference. So you met with Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China. So surely, Rubio, when you were in the room with Wang Yi, Donald Trump did a national address, right? Reserved for the most solemn of circumstances. He addressed the nation, Trump, and said China is interfering in the elections in the United States. And it was a deranged and it's full of lies. But that's Donald Trump did the press conference. So surely, Rubio, you're in the regime when you were sitting with the Chinese foreign minister. You brought it up, right? Here, play this clip.
Talked a lot about that.
Was there disagreement on election interference?
We didn't discuss that topic.
Oh, no, you didn't. Got it. And just so you can see the MAGAs flailing, the ultra MAGAs, the MAGA, the MAGA on steroids. Eric Bolling on Steve Bannon's show saying, we're so screwed right now. Inflation's here. It's rising. Trump is crashing everything. We're going to be so screwed for the midterms. You don't get more MAGA than these two people right here. Let me play this clip.
Talked to a guy and he said, Bolling, I most fear losing what I've worked my whole life earning, or losing the value of it. And that means inflation. And we just did Steve, 30-year treasuries are now 5.2%. The 10-year, we always talk about the 10-year because everyone borrows on credit card debt, 4.7%. Anything above 4 or 5 is alarming. Inflation is here. It's going to get bad. And again, no knock on Trump. What the hell are we doing in there? Let's just get out. They're never going to turn around and love us. We can't regime change. We have so many problems here. We are going to have a huge problem if we don't hold the midterms. For a while, it looked like it was getting a little better. Now, I don't know. At $4.50 a gallon, end of the summer, going into the fall with an election, it's going to be.
And finally, let me leave you over here with some of these photos of the Iraqi prime minister in Iran right now, meeting with President Pezeshkian of Iran. And I think these photos showing the kind of state welcome that Iran gave to the Iraqi prime minister, who was just in the White House also. It's very telling, because again, the images coming from U.S. media and Trump would make you think that Iran's out there begging and desperate and hiding. And it's like, nah, like they're doing, elaborate state visits with water fountains and their military's there, whereas Donald Trump in this weird golden bordello it's a contrast, right? I mean, between Trump and this golden bordello Oval Office, talking about handsome and like whether the Iraqi prime minister looks good and whether Trump's attracted to him, like he said he was attracted to, the Syrian president al-Shara. Anyway. I just think these images are fascinating. This video, and again, that's happening right now in Iran. It's happening in Iran right now. There you have it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.